Good morning. Welcome to our episode 12 of City Walk and Talk with yours truly, Dr. Rojo. We are back in our usual routine in this morning's walk. Wala na tayong destination like yesterday. And so hopefully we can take some time to talk about other things today. Kahapon, we cut it short kasi we were walking by the highway. Medyo maingay. And of course, we have to practice safety. And it was a good break. Medyo exhausting, no? It's still the usual. 10-kilometer walk, nakaka-average naman tayo ng ganun. But yung nakaka-exhaust yesterday, I think, was the heat of the sun. Kasi nabutan na tayo ng mga almost 11, 10:30. So yung 10 a.m. na init, sobrang init na talaga. Masakit na sa balat. And yun nga, yung mga noo namin, nagsa-shine-shine na. Kumikinang-kinang na siya. But overall, yung pinaka-obvious na nakita nating improvement since we started doing our morning walk is the good night sleep. Good night sleep talaga. Wala nang hard time to fall asleep. Immediately, pag higa mo, higa na talaga, tulog na. By the next time you wake up, umaga na. And it is providing us with correction of circadian rhythm. So yung pag-uusapan natin today would be related to a long, fulfilling life. What makes up a healthy aging based on studies, based on research related to communities na merong mga centenarians. Yun yung mga more than 100 years old or kahit mga 90. But they are very, very active. Hindi sila yung mga bedridden. And it's not just about diet. Of course, essential yun. We always talk about that in our low carb and fasting community. So today, we will see what else in their lifestyle, in their practice, that makes them live longer. But to set the ground straight for everyone, yung mga blue zones are the different societies, communities in the world na marami yung healthy aging population. Like normally, sa isang population with about 100,000 individuals, yung nakaka-reach ng 100 is nasa less than 10 lang. But in these populations, they can reach up to 30 to 40. So it's like threefold, minimum of 3 to 4 times yung dami as compared to other populations. Pero alam nyo, it could be biased also. Because malay nyo, marami na rin centenarian sa Pilipinas. Kaya nga lang, the problem is yung data collection, the records. Kasi sa Pilipinas, wala pa namang birth certificate ng mga panahon na yun. And also, that's the downfall of blue zone analysis. Kasi hindi na nila malocate yung mga records. Sometimes, they just estimate. And yung iba din, baka daw hindi na talaga exact na age. Because more than 100 years ago, wala pang ganong strict recording. But anyhow, generally, those communities live longer than others. Surprisingly, para sa mga nakikita na low carb is really doing good for their health, marami sa mga blue zones Actually, hindi low carb. They are eating high carb. They eat carbohydrates up to 60 to 80% of their diet. But, merong but. These carbohydrates are complex carbohydrates. Gulay, patatas, and kamote. Yun yung usual nilang mga kinakain. Salads, the vegetables that they eat are the vegetables na sila mismo yung nagtatanim. And with that, hindi lang yung produce lang. What matters is not just the vegetables, but also their physical activity. Kasi sila mismo yung nagtatanim, sila mismo yung nagpa-farm, sila mismo nagtetend ng kanilang garden, ng kanilang fields. And that says a lot when it comes to physical activity. And all of them, wala sa kanila nagpa-practice ng overeating. They are, in a way, partly nagkakaroon ng calorie deficit. So, instead of our usual appetite na sobrang dami yung kinakain nating calories, like ng energy, for them, they are not overeating their calories by first, when they eat a lot of vegetables, usually yung mga vegetables, mababa yan sa calories sa energy. So they're actually consuming less. And also, they are doing intermittent fasting. A lot of them eat early. Hindi sila nagle-late night eating. And also, not much snacking in between. If they eat some afternoon snacks, and sa gabi, it's also a very light dinner. When you think about how they live, they move majority of the time during the day. Yung iba pa nga, marami sa kanila living in the highlands or have to walk uphill every day para pumunta sa kanilang farm. So they are living a very active life, tending to their gardens at sa kanilang mga pananim. They also drink milk in some communities, like in Greece, in Italy. They have dairies, pero galing sa mga goat and sheep milk na sila mismo nag-aalaga. So they know it's organic. Wala siyang kung ano-anong mga feeds. What they feed their mga domesticated animals are the vegetables also. So they eat less as compared to the people in the city. They eat less by virtue of amount when it comes to calories. And they also eat less by virtue of doing some degree of fasting. In fact, meron nga sa kanila na mga traditions, like fast-on traditions, that they really fast in preparation or parang ano nila, ritual nila, so that they will have a good harvest time. And so they really practice like feasting only during harvest time. And mind you, sila mismo yung manually nag-harvest. So, it's not just about lowered food intake, but also improved activity. And what can we learn from this? For us who is living in the city, or kahit hindi na sa city, pero walang masyadong ganong physical activity, like hindi naman tayo nagsasaka, hindi tayo nagtatrabaho ng mabigat, then we can try to emulate. Pwede nating sundan by mimicking the physical activity. So for all of you who are with us doing this morning walk, it's actually part of at least kahit pa paano, we are mimicking yung ating ancestors. Kung ano yung natural na mobility natin. Kaya nga tayo naging humans, di ba? Because of all the primates kung nakaka-stand yung mga bipedal. So, nakatayo, nakakalakad straight. And that says everything. We are meant to walk. We are meant to move. We are not meant to just sit down or climb trees. That's why nawala natin yung claws natin. Yung paws. Wala na yun. Because our ancestors eventually lived in a way na kailangan tayong maglakad in our land. So, it's good that we can practice that because even if hindi na tayo nag-hunt, hindi na tayo kailangan tumakbo, hindi na tayo kailangan mag-escape kung saan mang danger tulad na hinaharap ng mga ancestors natin before, we can try to mimic the physical activity by doing deliberate movement. And that's the beauty of exercise. So, exercise is not really natural in a sense na pilit nating pinapatrabaho yung ating sarili. But based on need before, nagkakaroon tayo ng physical activity. So, in terms of fight and flight response, like in face of danger, meron tayong reflex na tumakbo. And that is sprinting. The 100-meter dash. Kasi mabilisan yun. And also, meron ding mga panahon na we have to follow yung ating prey, yung ating hinahunt for long periods of time. Did you know na walang kahit anong klaseng animal in the animal kingdom that can sustain ultramarathon, like 100-kilometer na race, other than humans? Because kahit yung mga pinaka-mabibilis na animals like cheetah, jaguar, lahat sila, they are very fast, sobrang bilis sila, but they cannot sustain it long term. Mapapagod sila. Only humans, tao lang, yung makakasustain ng ganun katagal. And it has something to do with endurance, with patience, and with appropriate mental processing. Yung willpower na nakikita consciously nasa tao lamang. And that's why, even if hindi natural for us to exercise, the only not natural part of exercise is yung conscious na decision. Because yun nga, by nature before, yung tao is tamad. Pero, kung magpapadala lang yung ancestors natin sa pagiging tamad, we wouldn't live and thrive. Kasi mamamatay tayo sa gutom. Or mamamatay tayo sa peligro because of dangers. Baka tayo yung mahunt. And so, we develop physical agility para makahanap tayo ng pagkain, para makasurvive tayo. And yung genes natin, nasanay na sa buhay na parating gumagalaw. Because we don't have any choice. It's just that we developed faster we develop a very advanced way to live na nahanapan natin ng paraan to make life easier, na makakakain tayo, na mawawala na yung mga peligro. And yet, hindi na natin kailangan gumalaw masyado. And where does that lead us? So, it led us to this pandemic before the virus. And it's a pandemic of metabolic disease, of modern day lifestyle diseases. Because we advanced so fast, nakagawa tayo ng pagkain pwede lang tumubo, pwede nating i-harvest anytime, pwede nating makain anytime, and we no longer need to move to get that. So ano yung nangyari? We became overnourished, yet under when it comes to physical activities. So yung nakasanayan ng ating pangangatawan that is moving around always and eating less or eating sometimes, nawala. And yun yung pinaka-detrimental. So that's why we can start by consciously, tayo na lang magiging conscious enough to mimic. Kasi if hindi, sayang yung advancement natin that we will just succumb sa modern day na advancement at yun yung magiging downfall natin. So, with your food intake, what's good also is we now know how to make some tricks. Like, pwedeng kumain 1-2 meals a day lang na hindi ka gugutumin all throughout when you know which foods to eat. And that's the hack of low carb. If you stay high carb naman, nasa sa inyo na. But it should be at least the very rule. Hindi high carb na refined carbs. Like the bread, the sweets, the sugar. It's the carb that's coming from more satiable. Yung mas nakaka-satisfy na carbs. And that would be root crops. Paminsan-minsan pa rin yung fruits. And if you can practice moderation, and you can also practice intermittent fasting. Because that's the only way for you to balance out. Kasi, with what we see, kung sa gulay lang, sobrang daming matatanda sa Pilipinas na puro gulay lang yung kinakain all their lives. And yet, they still succumb to many illnesses. So, kailangan talaga yung balance. Animal meat, seafood, especially sa Pilipinas when we are surrounded by coastal areas, it's natural for us to eat seafoods. So, wag lang basta, puro pork lang palagi. Although guilty kami dyan, kasi nga, ang hirap magkakain ng isa. Ang hirap i-prepare, no? Unless, pagkabili mo, lutuin na agad. So, but generally, if you can make your meat intake varied, iba't iba. Minsan squid, minsan shrimp, minsan isda, minsan pork, chicken, beef, lahat ng yan. And so that is nutrition. How about the other aspects of longevity? So that's mobility. And when you do something physically active in the morning outdoors, you're actually hitting so many other needs, which would include sun exposure for vitamin D, being in nature, overwhelming yung evidence when it comes to science. Now, when you work or expose yourself to nature, it will just give you a good sense of well-being. Magiging iba yung pananaw nyo, magiging iba yung mood niyo, because everything, yung living creatures daw on earth, plants and animals, we all have energy. So we exchange energy. Just like how we exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide sa trees, energy is like that as well. They can absorb the energy, the negative energy that we have, and yung negative energy na yun, mawawala. And we can also get good energy from them. And what's good also is yung negative energy na galing sa atin, hindi yun negative sa kanila. Just like how carbon dioxide is our waste product, but carbon dioxide is like essential for them. Kailangan nila yun. So, Mother Nature is sobrang amazing. We just need to take care of it. For those of you na merong garden, I hope you can tend more to your garden. Nakakabago din daw yung garden, no? Like, kapag nasa ganyang mood ka na, every morning daw, iiba-ibahin mo yung kanilang mga positions. Oo. Yung mga plantita, tanungin mo sila. Pagod din sila everyday. Because they always rearrange yung kanilang mga plants. Oo, at kilala nila. Merong mga na dapat hindi dito. And then the next time around, iba na naman yung position. At kapag addicting din siya. Kapag nasimulan mo na, yun na lang yung iniisip mo. At makikita mo, I know a lot na once they are in the habit of plants, para nila mga anak, pinapakita yung pictures. Tingnan mo, eto yung bago kong parang sobrang cute. So, doing some gardening is a little hack na pwede natin magawa. Even with little space, pwede yun. So, we already covered mobility, proper nutrition, sun exposure, being with nature, and another aspect na very important is the sense of purpose. So, every day, yung mga communities with the most centenarians, meron silang goal every day. Hindi sila nawawalan ng trabaho, kumbaga. Hindi sila nawawalan ng kakailangan gawin. May it be to tend to their crops sa kanilang pananim o sa kanilang mga animals, agricultural animals, or to their family. So, meron silang established na kailangan gawin. Even not really long term, hindi kailangan malaki. Even just for the day. So, they always have a reason to wake up in the morning. Kung nahihirapan kayo, and I'm quite sure na you are doing well, no? But just in case na you find yourself having so much purpose on that day, try to practice every night before you go to sleep to envision. You try to visualize on what a good day you will have the next day. So that by the time you wake up, meron ka ng parang template on what you will do. And hindi ka ma-feel lost. Ano kaya to? Maraming parang dami-daming bubuyog ba yan? Ano to? Sobrang dami. Sorry maraming insects na lumilipad. Biglaan lang. So you can try to envision your day and what you will do. Try to accomplish a goal, no matter how simple it is. And then once you accomplish that goal, make another goal so that you will get into the habit of attaining something. For those naman who are always working, meron din kasing mga nasa opposite side of the spectrum eh. Yung hindi na naman nagkakaroon ng break. Wala nang time makapag-isip. Wala nang time makapagplano. Because go lang ng go. Go, 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 go ng kanilang plano in life na hindi na sila nagkakaroon ng break. So for those of you who is like that, also schedule a rest, a break. Like in studying, sometimes when you are in the momentum of studying, ayaw mo nang tumigil kasi ayaw mo malose yung momentum mo. But it's been proven many times na it's not supposed to be that case. Kailangan meron talagang break in between. Because kung itutuloy-tuloy mo yung pagtatrabaho, like straight 4 hours, after 4 hours, exhausted ka na, wala na. Hindi ka na babalik yan. Sukang-suka ka na. But if you schedule a break in between, based on studies, yung optimum attention span ng isang tao is just around 45 minutes maximum. So, after 45 minutes, you need to have a break. Kahit pa wala kang gagawin, pero just pause. And that pause, you can have it 5 to 15 minutes if you want. Wag lang yung sobra-sobra. Because kung yung break mo ay nakakalahati na sa trabaho mo, hindi ka na rin yan magiging productive. Madadala ka na rin sa break time. So, make your break time short and sweet. Even if it's just CR break, water break, or just mindfulness break. Yung magsistay ka lang, silent, not doing anything. And then after, resume ka na ulit. And nakikita natin based on studies na mga ganon, that instead of continuous na 4 hours of straight work, it's now going to be extended to 8, 9, 10, even up to 12 hours of productivity. At mas productive yung output. Kaya, if you want to improve your work output in whatever it is that you're doing, you can do that. Schedule a break in between. So the sense of purpose is very essential when it comes to living a long, fulfilling life. And another thing na nakita nila when it comes to habits that's promoting longevity is a sense of community, that you belong to a certain tribe. And I think with the current advancement and technology, kahit papaano, we are now moving to another dimension na never seen before in our history as mankind. And that is being in community na hindi natin nakilala face to face. We get connected, we felt the connection with people na hindi pa natin nakilala because of technology, because of internet, because of Facebook, because of videos. So our sense of community actually is already moving past beyond physical. And that sense of community, although it is still yet to be proven, kasi bago pa lang naman, but the importance when it comes to impact kasi is nasa tao eh. When you know that you belong to a certain tribe, a certain group, you will feel supported. You don't feel alone. And as much as I also am a loner sometimes, because I could be introvert as well. But no, knowing the fact that you have people na alam mo na you speak the same language, you have the same like-mindedness. It will give you a sense of confidence. Somewhat, it's reassuring na you are okay. Because if we sometimes force ourselves in a certain group na alam mo, sobrang layo sa values mo, sobrang layo sa pinaka-core mo talaga, it will cause just stress. So I think it's good. And Facebook groups, social media groups could be good. Of course, hindi natin maiwasan. Meron talagang mga toxic na iba dyan. But if you focus on the negative and remove them, and then try to see the communities na kung saan ka mas nakaka-relate, it's really good. So, yung mga Facebook groups that I join, na yung nakikita ko lang sa thread ko, are mostly related to low carb, to fasting, and also to philosophy. So, meron ako mga groups on minimalism, meron din akong groups on practical existentialism, meron din akong groups na related to Khalil Gibran and Rumi. Favorite ko talaga si Rumi. Lover boy kasi si Rumi. And then, ano pa ba? Yung mga just positivity. Yung page na wholesome internet. Yan, mga anything lang. Or about animals. So, those are already little communities that you expose yourself. And those are communities that is already speaking of who you are. So try to see which one works for you. Just like the other day, I saw a phone of someone, and then, okay, mag-alala, close naman kami. We don't hide anything from each other. So, nakita ko lang doon, everything na about politics din. So, yung thread nila, it's also all political. So, I know it's also helping them because that's their inclination. So, ako usually wala kang makikitang politics on my thread. First, I have my own opinion on politics, but I just keep them to myself. Ayoko mag-impose dun sa iba because it's not scientific. It's all very subjective. And we are not in the position to impose. Hindi tulad ng low carb and fasting. It's science, it's evolution. Ang hirap niyan kontrahen sa totoo lang if you are just open-minded. But those other things, we will just leave it on individual opinions. And so, wala kang makikitang political threads, politically related na mga influences on my thread. So, it's mostly about that. On food, nutrition, positivity, philosophy, mindfulness, proper mindset, love. Yun yung mga communities that I feel like I belong to. Even if, yun, hindi kailangan na recognize that I'm a part of that community. So it's just on me. I am happy na if I have certain thoughts on something at nakikita mo doon, nakakatuwa na merong isang tao din na pareho kami mag-isip. And then that person, when I click on their profile, halfway across the world, matanda, parang retired na teacher, na gano'n. Iba-iba yung profile. Yung ibang lahi. And sometimes, sobrang opposite talaga. Pero nakakatuwa that you see that you are really not alone. And it's good. And I hope you are able to find your own sense of community. And of course, ideally, we can start in our own home. If yung ating family mismo is also our own community. Yun yung mas maganda. Yun yung pinakamaganda din. Because you have that physical bond, you have that intimate connection, and then it's beyond the physical. It also goes with mental. So that's why, like kami, in the family, kapag nagkukwentuhan kami, wala talagang katapusan yan. Si Mandro. Nandyan si Mandro. But, nandyan ba si Mandro? Invite ko si Mandro to speak. Hello, Rochelle. Datsky, Lelaine, Nadios, Marcelo. Good morning. Ayaw makipagkwentuhan ni Andrew. Bakit kaya? Ayaw niya makipagkwentuhan sa akin. But, congratulations on your new baby boy. Kakapanganak lang. Sana hindi ko makalimutan na February 9, birthday ng isa kong pamangkin. Wala talaga akong kwenta when it comes to birthdays ng mga tao. Ha? No! 9 pa lang kahapon. I'm not sure. Feeling ko.
11 today.
11 today? 10 kahapon? Hindi nagkwento kami. Wala bang makaka-confirm dyan? Parang ayoko maniwala kay Mani. Pagkita mo. Wala. Tama nga. So, to my sister, tama ako. Mansari nila ng kanyang husband kahapon. So, hindi nila alam, pero buti na lang, nag-date din sila. Kahit hindi nila alam na mansari nila. 10-10 sila. 10-10 yung kanilang anniversary. So, at least, no, sana hindi ko makalimutan na yung bagong pamangkin ko, February 10. And sa mga taong hindi ko ginigreet, kahit yung mga mahal ko sa buhay, yung hindi ko nag-greet during their birthdays, don't ever think na hindi ko kayo mahal. Hindi yun ang basihan ng pagmamahal ko sa inyo. Yung memorize ko lang na birthday, yun lang talaga nila, mami at mga ko. Yun lang. Yung sa papa ko nga, nako-confuse pa ako kung sa birthday or anniversary nila ni mami. Pero alam ko, August 28 yung sa papa ko and yung anniversary nila, July 28. Nandiyan na si Andrew K, oh. Ayaw mo ba makipagkwentuhan sa akin ngayon?
Hello, Gracia. Good morning.
Na. Good morning.
Good morning.
Congratulations for being a daddy for the 3rd time. Oo nga. So cute. Ako ay tita na naman for the nth time. Sinong
yung
mukha?
pangalan niya,
Nalalaman na ba?
Alam mo bang pangalan niya ngayon?
Ano na? Nag-iba na naman?
Yung Mason may I na. M-A-I-S-O-N.
Nag-iba na yung spelling?
Oo, nag-iba na yung spelling.
Mason.
Mason
One name lang?
One name lang.
One name lang.
Kung i-pronounce mo parang
M-E-Y-S-E-N.
M-E-Y-S-E-N.
Mason. Mason. Buti na lang iniba mo yung pangalan, yung spelling. Kasi if it's very simple, parating magiging hit yan sa NBI. Diba?
Ayaw nga pala, no?
Kung one simple name lang. Yung mga pangalan natin, mga simple lang naman. Pero, dalawang simple na kinumbine. So, parang hindi na siya ganun ka-common. The combination is not common. Pero, the names are very common. Congratulations.
Kailangan talaga yung NBI. Thank you. Kailangan talaga yung ang NBI na isa lang alang.
Of course, dahil lahat from time to time kailangan tayong kumuha ng NBI clearance. At nakakapagod kapag na-hit ka sa NBI. Meron nga akong experience noon na sa international, yung for international na NBI clearance, cleared. Wala akong hit. Pero sa local, meron akong hit. Weird, no? Maku-question mo talaga kung ano yun. No. Hindi ko alam kung bakit nagkaroon ng gano'n.
Hindi nga sa akin yung pangalan, may Andrew Ke. Tapos napaka-unique na yan. May hit din ako sa ano. Tapos kailangan mo pa yung
with Andrew E? Yung hit mo is with Andrew E?
No. K.E. talaga.
madi-discharge?
Madi-discharge kami. Bali, ang package dito, kasi si Mavi, 9 to 11, 13. 9 to 13. Pero sabi ng doktor, baka bukas daw okay na naman. Pwede na daw.
Oo. Magba-Valentine's kayo sa bahay.
At saka, ano namin ngayon, anniversary. Wedding anniversary.
11. Oh, galing. Oo nga, no?
Uh-uh.
So, yun nga. Hindi talaga ako magaling sa sa dates. But I remember before, no? It's close to the Valentine's. Yung anniversary. Happy wedding anniversary. Gusto niyo sanang isabay? Or hindi din? Balak niyo sanang isabay sa anniversary niyo?
Bali sabay talaga kasi yung sa, alam mo, yung sa sa papers. February 10 talaga yung anniversary namin. Pero kinasal kami nung 11.
Because it's Saturday.
Oo,
hindi
naka-prepare na yung
yung papers ahead.
Ang papers ahead, oo.
Wow! So ano yung isa-celebrate nyo?
Yung
na
sa 10
anniversary?
Sa 10 na lang. Para sabay na talaga.
Para sabay na with the birthday of Baby Mason. So, ikaw na. So, okay. Si Bobby, 4 na yung baby niya. Sa'yo, 3. Si Duday, 1. Pero I think magiging 2 na yun soon.
Alam mo ba, yung sa namin, pag ano yan, pag yung seminar sa marriage, before marriage, sabay kami, nagsulat ako ng kung ilang expected namin na anak. Sabi ko, 4.
Yung gusto niyo anak.
Oo, tapos si
na hindi
Mabi,
niyo pa pinag-usapan before.
Hindi pinag-usapan. Si Mabi, ganun din, 4 din. Kaya kami lang nagkaparehas doon na ganun. Karamihan,
sa
1.
mga nagpa-premarital na seminar.
Oo.
So, dapat pala, so alam niyo na hindi pa yan huli, no? Na hindi pa. Meron yung inyong, anong tawag doon? Reproductive potential. Hindi pa yon maximize. So, sige. Break lang muna kasi CS Kailangan merong skip. Magpaano na si Mabi, long-term, temporary na protection. Kasi delikado for her kung mabuntis siya ng...
Yan din ang sabi ng
ng OB.
Oo.
That's good. That's really good. So, congratulations. So, yung pinagkakwentuhan natin is about longevity and purpose. And since we are talking about children, actually, having children is like a hack. Kapag meron kang anak, you are going to fulfill lahat ng halos marami sa pangangailangan ng longevity. You will have a sense of purpose kasi meron kang anak na kailangan mo i-raise into adulthood. Magkakaroon ka rin ng sense of belongingness kasi alam mo, without you, your offspring, yung anak mo, hindi talaga mabubuhay ng tama. And it's nature, instinct natin to be devoted to our children. And if you have that sense of purpose, you will tend to live the healthier way. Kasi alam mo, kailangan ka ng anak mo. So, having children is actually a very consistent and helpful part, especially when it comes to longevity. Yung meron kang continuous purpose day in, day out. Because if we talk about why we live and how to live well, 3 lang daw yan. Yun yung sabi ng friend ko. 3 lang yan. Something to do, yung meron kang gagawin. Someone to love, meron kang mamahalin. And something to hope for. You have a future to look forward to. And if you have a child, nandun na yun. You have to do something for your children. You already have someone to love. And you also have something to hope for. Because yung gusto, the moment you already have children, di ba? Yung mga gusto mo before, nag-iiba na. Hindi na pwedeng yung gusto mo lang. Iniisip mo na sila parate, di ba?
Oo, ganun.
Anong nag-iba? When you became a parent.
Parang autonomy, ano yan, autonomy, purpose, and mastery. Parang ganon.
Mm.
Yung, okay.
Sige.
Yung sa TED Talk
You talk
yan.
about that. Mm.
Yung sa yung kailangan talaga may purpose, yung parang for the service of others.
Others.
Tapos, ganun.
Mm.
Tapos, yun lang yung ang the service to do something
Not just for yourself.
not
For
just for yourself.
something greater. Greater
Something
than
greater
yourself.
than yourself. Ganun.
Mm. Kaya yun yung hack. Kaya merong mga iba talaga, like with you. Hindi mo naman before na inisip talaga na gusto mo talaga mag-anak. But it became natural lang because you got married and then you had children. Pero alam mo, meron talaga mga ibang tao na they don't think about romance. They don't think about like getting into a relationship, but they just know na gusto nilang may anak sila. Yung ganun. Yung parang yung kanilang instinct is to be a parent rather than being a spouse. Ikaw, lover boy ka eh. So alam ko talaga yung purpose mo talaga is then maging daddy. Pero merong mga iba na really have this parang innate calling nila to be a parent. So it would be best, of course, if they do it with a spouse, with a partner, to make it also a more harmonious na growth for the child. Pero if ever naman, it's okay. Ang dami-daming successful na single parent. And the children of single parents, iba din yung mga resilience nila. Gagaling yan. Mga survivor yan. So,
pero mga ganyan, yung mga parenthood, pwede rin yung puppy, yung sila nag-alaga silang puppy, parang napupunan na rin ng urge ng nakakilala akong ganun.
Pinag-usapan nga namin ni Manny, meron pa nga kilala ngayon, pati yung mga plants, parang nagiging baby na nila. So, plantita. At saka meron, when it comes to taking care of another, nature talaga yon na it's within us to look after something or someone. Like, remember mo si Kuya Orlans? Yung sa work
Cebu.
before, sa Cebu. Yun, sa kanya ko first naisip yun. Kasi alam niya, mahilig ako sa dogs. Tapos sabi niya, gusto niya na meron siyang aalagaan. But dogs are too much for him. So, yung gusto niya lang alagaan, yung manok lang. Sabi ko, if nagsasabong ka ba? Hindi rin. Hindi siya nagsasabong. Pero anong gagawin mo sa manok? So, in Bisaya, he told me, ganahan ra ko ma'am, na ako'y gam-gam. So, in Tagalog, gusto lang niya na meron siyang parang iti-take care, yung parang aalagaan lang, yung parang i-baby lang niya. So, yung manok, yun yung para sa kanya kasi very low maintenance. Pagkatapos mong himas-himasin, okay na, hayaan mo na siya ulit. So, naroon pala mga taong ganun talaga that they want to just take care of something. So, for me, yung mga dogs ko before, akala ko, hindi ko kaya.
Wala pa yung sina Onyx?
Wala. Nandun na si Onyx. Kasi si Onyx, inalagaan ko si Onyx, right after college. Nandun na. So, meron akong dog for 12, 13, going 13 years na. So, it's up to you kung ano. So, yun yung hack. Pero for me, malag lang muna. Hindi ko talaga ma-imagine na meron akong baby. Yung pamangkin ko lang, okay na ako. At saka lang muna, intermittent. Kung kailan lang, intermittent na pag-aalaga. Kasi sobrang selfish ko pa rin sa utak ko. Kasi feeling ko.
Ano lang yan, open ka lang sa positive possibilities.
Open sa possibilities. Open to possibilities. Alam mo ba, meron ako nakilala before na tita, na friend kong tita ha. Na tita siya, pero friends kami. And then, nung nalaman niya yung mga thoughts ko about having children, na I don't really think of having children anytime soon, like not in 5 years, yung mga ganun. Parang not in 10 years. At sobrang nagalit talaga siya. Sobrang galit na galit siya. Grabe. Oo, parang nagalit talaga siya na sobrang emotional siya. Na parang akala niya, ewan ko, ano yung issues ni tita. Pero yung kanya siguro is akala niya kalaban ko yung mga bata. Parang akala niya, ay, like, ayoko ng mga bata. Like, no, marami akong mga bata na friends kami. And yung mga pamangkin ko, mga love ko yan. But, it's not time for me to have. And yung iba na nagsasabi, ay, matanda ka na, o kailangan mo na magkaanak. And I don't think so. Meron tayong kasama in Life Without Rice at the age of 44. Ngayon, buntis. And it's a
Pero
low-carb baby.
pero ano man yun,
First
hindi
baby,
man,
first baby.
pero hindi man ano
First
yan,
baby.
hindi man delikado, mga ganyan, no?
Yun yung common concept. Delikado yun if you are not metabolically healthy.
Oh, okay.
Oo, but yun sa mga longevity zones, yung mga blue zones, yung fertility ng mga babae is also extended. May mga women in their communities na at the age of 50s, nanganganak pa. And hindi delikado. It has something to do still with health. But the current average health ngayon is really, really poor. That's why na by average, if you are going to get pregnant at the age of 35 and first mo pa yan, yung tawag doon, primary gravid, first and elderly gravid, parang matanda ka na, 35, no? Sasabihin ng parang ka na, late ka na nanganak. Yun yung average because on average, delikado na. Because the metabolic health of an average woman right now, at the age of 35 na dun pa siya mabubuntis, is already poor. But that's not true. Like si Duday, her first baby is magti-36 na siya. And it was the healthiest. Si Archie, siya yung healthiest baby boy na nakita ko na pinakamalaking umbilical cord. And ngayon, and kahit si Mason din ngayon, si Mason, laki-laki din ng umbilical cord. Iba talaga yung low-carb baby. Yung umbilical
Indication
cord niya makapal.
healthy pala yun.
Oh, i-check mo yung pictures ng umbilical cord in Google. The usual, sobrang putla at sobrang nipis. Ang nipis. But if you will look at, kay Mason and kay Archie, sobrang kakapal. Parang grabe talaga. Tortuous yung term na yun. It's a tortuous na sobrang laki, sobrang kapal. Because yun yung daanan ng nutrition from the mother to the child. So, I don't believe na just because advanced age na is already too late. No. And for me, wala. It's not coming to me na magkakanak ako. And if ever magkakanak ako, it's regardless of age. Darating lang yan if it's meant to be. But now, I'm okay. Sobrang selfish ko pa para magkaanak.
May mga kaibigan,
mas gusto ko pa ngayon ipagpatuloy.
Kasama ko sa trabaho, mga Greek. Ang mga Greek
Yes.
yung sila sa mga Pinoy na dapat mga 20s pa lang may mga anak na sila kasi mag-isip sila na mag-asawa, magkaanak, mga 40s pa yung normal sa kanila daw. Kaya, pero ang nila, yung reason nila nga to enjoy muna daw, parang ganon. Yung ilang mindset. Pero yun, mga 40s ang gusto nila, karamihan.
So, maybe it has also something to do with lifespan kasi yung Greek lifespan is higher than Filipinos. So, para ma-maximize natin yung ating potential is, since nagsimula ka ng mga anak at a somewhat relatively young age compared to Greek, you make sure na you live long. Na?
Okay.
Hindi lang basta...
Tapos speaking sa sinong tita mo na nagsasabi na parang pinapagalitan ka. Meron din akong birthday na may isang topic doon na about sa'yo lang, bakit na sinabi ko yung mga reason mo, mga ganon. Yun, parang galit din siya na anong sinasabi niya na sayang yung lahi, yung ganda mo daw, tapos ano, tapos yun doon na naikot, explain ako ng experience sa kanya, siguro sa ngayon siguro hindi ko maintindihan, pero
Oo.
ilang beses na napag-usapan niya, na ganyan, kind of
Oo.
first,
Sure na yan
first
eh.
gusto ko rin na na dapat may asawa sa ganyan-ganyan. Tapos sayang, parang hindi siya makamove on talaga.
Salamat po, ma'am. Yun lang yung sabi ko na meron nga yung nagko-comment na, Dok, sana makahanap ka ng good husband and ganun. So mga yan, I consider those as mga well wishes and mga whispers of those people who care for me na in time, if it will happen, it will happen. But no pressure. Right
Okay,
now,
okay.
mas gusto
Naalala ko
kong
tuloy yung
maging
book ni nung ang book ni Manang Kat.
the one.
Oo, yung the one. Parang yun, yung
Uh,
hindi ka dapat ng right time. Dapat daw yung right
Oo.
person. Oo.
And you become the right person first.
Yeah, yes.
Before you before you demand to have that right someone, you make sure you are okay
Right
first with
one.
yourself. And when you are okay with yourself na, it's regardless whether may darating o wala, it's okay. Because you are already okay. At sa ngayon nga, mas okay akong anak lang ako ni Maming. Ganda-ganda ng buhay. Ganda-ganda ng buhay na meron na
Oo.
anak ka lang. Oo, no? Oo, wala kang iisipin kapag meron ka, pwede ka lang mag-tantrums anytime at merong sasagot sa tantrums mo. Masarap yung mabuhay na maging anak. Alam yun, at alam nyo, yung pinakamaganda kay Maming, no? Gets niya ako. Kaya kahit pa merong mga tita na yun, yung iba yung gusto nila. Pero si Maming, agree siya sa akin. Okay lang sa kanya, wala akong anak forever.
Ganun si Mami.
Cool na cool. Cool na cool talaga yan si Maming. So, okay lang. Ang ganda ng ang sarap ng buhay na maging anak lang. Siguro kapag fulfilled na ako sa aking pagiging anak lang sa mundo. Maybe, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. And so, when it comes to sense of purpose, nakakaroon naman tayo ng other sense of purpose than just becoming a parent. You can be like a parent to something bigger than just one individual. So I think for me right now, I'm happy to be a part of our communities. Kahit yung groups natin. Even if it's just on nutrition, even if it's just one na hindi pa man ganon ka fully accepted ng others. But every day, every time I wake up in the morning and then randomly it's appearing on our thread, how people are every day telling testimonies of how much they healed, especially yung mga karamihan sa kanila nag-start noong October lang, 2021. Sobrang overwhelming. And when it comes to like daily sense of purpose, satisfaction, and drive to still continue, to do better, to improve, to learn, to be a better version of yourself every day, I think that's enough. That's okay for me. And yung sabi ko, if ever magkakanak ako, grabe yung pressure sa bata na yun. Because alam ko kasi if you will already have children, you will really dedicate your time. You cannot do other things. Because meron talagang malaking bulk nun na parang talaga sa bata. So kung sa akin mangyayari nun, ikaw ang bata ka, siguraduhin mo na kung ano yung ginagawa ko ngayon, dapat mas bongga yung gagawin mo. Kasi gini-give up ko yung ginagawa ko ngayon para sa'yo. Sobrang sama ng ugali, no? So, that's too much pressure. So, ayaw kong i-pressure yung bata na yon. So, wala na lang. That's just kidding lang. Baka meron naman tayong mga tita na magagalit sa akin dito. Those are just thoughts. So, in our walk and talk. Kung ano-ano lang talaga yung pinag-uusapan natin dito, no?
Pero feeling ko, yung iba na yung situation, hindi yan maging situation, maging maganda pa rin.
Hanapan natin ng paraan. Hanapan lang natin ng paraan.
Oo. Mahilig
So,
ka
sa
magpaganda
ngayon,
ng bagay-bagay.
pagandahin lang. Pero sa ngayon, since ito yung situation, yun lang muna yung isipin natin. Para
Yun.
okay na okay tayo sa kung anong meron tayo ngayon. Whatever yung, sabi ko, whatever makes you sleep at night. Sige, isipin mo lang kung ano yung makakapagpatulog sa'yo. If you feel like it's working for you. So, yun. I hope, regardless of your status, your work, your vocation, your job, kung ano man yung pinagkakabisihan ninyo, know your purpose and know that you matter. And know that whatever role you play, it is essential. And if you feel like you are not playing a substantial role, like if you think you don't matter much, what you need to do is matter more first to yourself. Because if yun yung nafe-feel nyo, you are actually not taking care of yourself. That's why you don't feel that sense of importance. Kasi ikaw mismo, you didn't give importance to yourself. So, you tend to yourself sa kung ano yung mga pangangailangan nyo, emotionally, mentally, physically. And then after that, once you fulfilled your own needs, it's natural that you will just expand on helping others. Your everyday will be working for something that is bigger than yourself. And it's not selfishness, but it's a simple concept na you cannot fill from an empty cup. Hindi ka makakapagbigay if within you is you are lacking as well. So that's why it's not selfishness. It's actually making your love and concern to others more sustainable. Kasi if iisipin mo, if you only have 25% left at ibibigay mo pa yon sa iba, it will come to a point that you will have zero and wala ka na rin ibigay sa iba. But if you feel yourself first, you drive yourself up to 100%, and then you know you can function at 50%. Every time you are 100%, you always have 50% to give. Yung ganon. And then you can recover and refuel. And that is the beauty of sustainability when it comes to taking care of your own needs while at the same time helping others. So it could be your job, it could be your role as a mother, it could be your work, it could be in your business, it could be in your household. Know that whatever you do, it's valuable. And para mapagpatuloy mo yung ginagawa mo, or even do it better, take time always to take care of your own needs. Huwag lang magpapadala. So that's why I think yung maganda sa inyo na you and your spouses, you don't forget that before you were parents, you were also individuals and you are partners. So that's why, even if marami ng anak and you have kids, pero always schedule a date night. Meron pa rin mga time na kayong dalawa lang. So you don't forget. Kasi iba din yun. Kasi minsan the parents, they get caught up sa parenthood na nakakalimutan na nila that they're also partners to their spouses. So that's striking a balance when it comes to relationship and also fulfilling your own needs. Diba? Anong oras na? It's 9:36. Oh. So yan. Hello, Jeline. Maraming salamat everybody for being with us. Bigyan na natin to dahil baka magalit na yung mga tita. Or baka kung
Nag-walking ka ba
nagalit sila,
ngayon?
wag na lang sila marinig. Oo, we're walking.
Nakailang
Mag 6
kilometers
kilometers na. 6 na kami. 6. 6
Very
kilometers.
good, very good.
Oo.
Mapupuno mo talaga yung Taji 100 na yan.
Oo, in 20 days. If
20 days.
mako-continue namin, I think in 20 days matatapos yung 100 miles. But we
Oo,
plan
nung
to complete the
nakaraan,
whole
kilometers kayo nun, di ba?
no, all 10.
Oo.
Naka-10 kami, oo.
Aten.
10, naka-11, 12. Si Manny nga nakaka-15 eh. Grabe.
Wow. Grabe,
Grabe
mali ba?
talaga. Sige, so yun na muna. Thank you so much for being
Sige,
with me.
thank you.
Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Thank
Regards to
you.
Mabi.
Okay,
And
thank
to
you, Kat.
Mason. And to Kian. And to Audrey.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you all.
Bye-bye. So, thank you so much, everybody. Yun lang muna for now. Kung feeling nyo magagalit yung mga tita ninyo kapag narinig nyo na yung sinasabi natin, huwag nyo na lang i-share. Baka hindi sila open to those ideas. I think yung ibang tao, nagugulat sila when they hear me about those. Kasi yung mukha ko nga parang sobrang plain. At sa sobrang plain at sa baka sobrang like, typical lang. Yung sabihin mo parang conservative, yung gano'n. Tapos when they hear me talk about other things, nagugulat sila. Nag-iiba yung pananaw nila. Parang feeling nila na scam sila. Bakit ganyan ka? Akala ko mabait ka. Akala ko conservative ka. Akala ko ganyan. But yeah, that's a part of me and okay lang. It's okay if meron tayong pagkakaiba. I no longer judge others. I accept people for who they are. At kahit pa mahirap intindihan to start with, I just trust na it's for a reason and maybe it's working for them. And if ever they find out na it's not for the best, and if I can help them with anything and I can afford to help them, then I will do so. But otherwise, we can just coexist. Kahit pa magkakaiba tayo ng pananaw, we can agree to disagree on things so that we can live harmoniously. And having harmonious relationships doesn't always mean that we always agree with each other. Pwedeng magkakaiba tayo. We have healthy discussions. We have healthy exchange of different ideas. And that even adds more spice and happiness in our lives. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the number. It's not just about having a long life. But it's about having a life, even in a short span of time. It's fulfilling. It's happiness. It's purposeful. And I hope today you get to think of what you want to do, of how you want to spend your time, not just today and the remaining days of our lives. So maraming salamat everybody. Thank you for being with me. So dapat pala, episode 13 na to. No? So we will just edit. Kasi it's already February 11. Nawala na naman sa oras. So thank you so much everybody. Always have a good day. I will wish you well. And know that I am really praying for you, for your own wellness. And may you find what your heart is always looking for and what you truly deserve, and accept that you deserve the best because you are worth it. Have a good day. I'll see you again in our City Walk and Talk tomorrow, hopefully, if all goes well. Maraming salamat po. Bye-bye!